Greetings, beautiful people. It's Tumika Patrice. I hope you are all having an amazingly beautiful day. Today is July 4th, Independence Day, and it started me to thinking about what independence means on so many levels, not just as a nation, but individually. So we'll start off with some definitions. And this is the Webster's New World Dictionary, 3rd College Edition. And so we'll start off with the definition for Independence Day, the holiday that we're actually celebrating today. A legal holiday in the U.S. celebrated on July 4th, the anniversary of the adoption of the Declaration of Independence in 1776. Okay. Many things going on in our nation, but I am glad that we are taking the time to just celebrate our independence. But I also wanted to look at independence on a personal level, and so it is defined as the state or quality of being independent, freedom from the influence, control, or determination of another or others. It's also defined as an income sufficient for a livelihood. Independence is a noun. So we are created with certain rights and, abilities and things like that. Independence would be a part of that. Like, we have the freedom to think what we want. We have the freedom to feel what we want. Those things belong to us individually. Like, those are like God-given rights. And we have come here, we have been sent to earth on our earthly assignment, and, we are born, and like I said, created with that stuff, and so we're born with those things. Sometimes we live in environments where those birthrights are challenged, whether it be, just like the family you're brought into, because they rule with like a heavy hand, or the nation that you're growing up in, because the nation itself is not free. There's more of like a dictatorship going on. It could be like the religious environment that you are immersed in. There are many things that can erode away a person's independence or freedoms. But I'm here today to even just talk about like some of the things that we do on an individual level that impede or interfere with our own freedoms and rights, if you will. And even things like popular culture can influence how you think about a thing, how you feel about a thing, even how you think about yourself or feel about yourself. When you are deciding to get your hair cut, is the style that you're going with the style that you really want? Or is it the most popular style that you see, on Instagram and Pinterest and, lives and things like that? Or is it like, oh no, this is something that I really, really enjoy? When you are deciding on what clothes to buy, is it what popular culture has told you that this is the end thing? You'll only look like this and this is acceptable, but if you look like that, that's not. And so are you being true to your divine authenticity? And let's be honest here, because it is not always easy to be authentic. It is not always easy to live in your truth. It is not always easy to be able to stand against the masses and say, well, you can say what you want or feel what you want, but this is where I am. This is what I want. This is who I am. This is who I want to marry. This is where I want to live. This is how I want to look. This is where I want to work. This is the kind of work I want to do. Any of those kinds of things. I mean, it can be sometimes very challenging to just take a stand and say, this is me. See me, hear me, accept me. This is it. Take it or leave it, right? Everything I am is right before you. Here I am. Can you handle that truth? The truth of who I am, right? And so I am asking you to examine where you are in your own state of independence. Have you compromised what you know to be true for you in order to stay in a marriage? Have you been silent when you really wanted to say something about something that you saw just to keep the peace? Are you not really saying to your children what you need to say to your children because you don't want them to be angry with you? You want them to still like you. I mean, there are many, many ways that we put off and not honor like our authentic selves, but the truth is, like, you really find your tribe and like your people and like your ones when you are living in your truth. And it's important, like, because everything about you is important. Like what you think is important, how you feel, what you want, what you don't want, your desires, your dreams, your goals. It's all important. It all matters because you matter. And like, you don't just matter on an individual level, like, oh, yes, you matter in this space or matter to your family, but divinely you matter from the great creator. Like everything about you matters. And your independence and your freedom to be matters. Your freedom to show up in this life, living your purpose, doing the things that brings you joy, the thing that makes you feel like it gives you such a feeling of like just freedom, and like you're so high, almost like a balloon with helium, or just your feet don't even feel like they're touching the ground because it just makes you so joyful and happy. All of that stuff matters. So I'm encouraging you today to look and see where you are, in your journey. Where do you need to kind of tighten some stuff up and put your foot down and say, you know what, take it or leave it, like it or leave it, whatever. This is me, and this is how I'm showing up, and this is me living my truth. And when I think about independence, even from the standpoint of Independence Day and all of that, sometimes we have to fight for it. Sometimes, because when you begin to make a change and people are used to things being one way, and then you are wanting to shift things and make them different than what they are, it tends to come with some resistance. But anything that is worth like truly having is worth, the journey that it's going to take in order to be able to accomplish it. So if you, in your midst, in your goal and your plan and your process and journey towards independence, people have to fall off, or you're getting some opposition, or folks are kind of like, they're kind of fighting you about it, like, don't do that. It's in their own selfishness. And they can be selfish. They can do that. They can show up in this life how they're choosing to show up in this life, but you don't have to own their stuff as your own. And so if it ends up being a little bit of a battle, in order for you to get there, at the end of the day, you want to be able to look in the mirror. At the end of your life, you want to be able to look in the mirror and look back over the journey of it and be proud of who you are and where you have come from and where you have gone and the things you've done and the things that have brought like pleasure to your heart. And you want to be able to do that with no regrets. And so if this requires you to have to, dig your heels in and, and to make some changes, and some people have to fall off, or, you have to relocate, or whatever that is, I'm not telling you, telling you what that looks like for you, but whatever that looks like for you, if it involves a series of change in order to get there, at the end of the day, it's worth it if you could come out of it free, living in your freedom, living in your independence, and living in you as your true authentic self, because you're worth that. Like, you are so worth that. So, this is a safe space for you to be able to just be who you are, where you are at any given time. And so leave me some notes, talk back to me. I like to hear what you think and where you are on your journey. And because it is a journey, it's just a process. We're just trying to figure it out, like just one day, one step, one moment, one action at a time. And so, as you are on your journey, chime in. Let me know where you are. Let's do this thing together. And so, yeah, because remember, I'm the personal development partner. So we're just doing this thing together. It's not me telling you how to live your life. We're just partnering to help you to be able to live it the best way, because you deserve that. So anyway, this is Tumika Patrice signing off, changing lives one word at a time. Make today a great one on purpose.